I was asked by a member to show my wonderful invention. I think it's a wonderful invention of using mirror as a backer for a cup or whatever you've cut in half, instead of tiling around and grouting in it and all of that sort of thing. So what happens is I cut the backer out of a mirror and I use that with the mosaic, and then I grout everything and then I glue the cup on. It is so easy. I felt very clever when I thought about doing that. So you get your piece of mirror, and this is all second-hand mirror, so some of it may be a little spotty or something like that, but there's no reason to not use it. So pop your item onto the mirror. So here I'm just lining up the two top parts of the cup, and I'm going to trace the outline of this bowl. So there we have it. So when you go to cut anything out that you've traced, you always score on the inside of those lines. So where I'm going to score first is actually across here. So I'll put a guideline on there so you can see what I'm up to. But once you've cut a few things out and you've mastered the scorer, you won't need things like guidelines, like straight lines. You'll be able to just cut them. You young nimble people. Okay, so in terms of scoring, get your favourite scorer, make sure it's clean. Now I hold my scorer quite differently to most people. The super duper professionals, you'll see, they'll have pencil scorers or pistol grip scorers, and they'll hold like this because that maximises control. I've got no hope, and I think it's because I'm too short, but also my wrist has never ever been like really agile or flexible. So here, what you do is, and if you want to learn to score glass, I suggest you go and learn it from a professional lead lighter who perhaps run classes. Maybe you can get them to get a session one-on-one with them. Anyway, that's the best way to learn to do it well. So here, when you're pressing, you'll note that your scorer has a spring. That lets the oil down. I never put oil in mine. I'll clean it with oil. But it also helps you place it on the glass so it doesn't move. The other thing that's really important is it needs to be like 90 degrees. If you go this way or that way, your glass is going to break in that direction or score in that direction if there are no flaws. So there shouldn't be flaws in this mirror unless it's a really dodgy mirror. So pressing down firmly on my spot, and I have my eyeball right on that wheel, and I'll see if I can do it without using two hands so you can see what I'm doing. And don't look at the wobble and don't go, oh my God. And you press reasonably firmly and you'll hear it making little noises. See, always aim to do your very, very best. I could do very, very best with two hands. This is like, oh my God, I can't watch. And then, of course, your favourite running pliers, which I gently break that away. So you'll need running pliers. And you'll also need grazing pliers, because I'm going to cut this little bump out here. And for that, I am going to use two hands, so you might need to grit your teeth on my behalf. Oh, I need to turn on the light. It's getting a bit dark. And then right next to the line, you pull out and down and hope that it breaks it out quite well. Oh, that was really good. That worked really, really well. But as you can see just here, see if I can get it up nice and close. See that little bit there? Really sharp. That is so going to cut you, and you're going to bleed everywhere. So you can actually graze it off Just run your pliers across there if you want to, just to get rid of those nasty bits that are actually going to get you. And then it makes it dead easy to do the rest through here and here in the same fashion. So I might start from this end because I have enough room here for my running pliers, and I always go to the, well, I always seem to start the widest bit. I don't know what the rules are. It's like 50 years since I did a course and I can't remember. Now I make it look easy because I did go and learn how to do this properly. And in my day, when I learned, you had to sell a body part for a grinder. No one had grinders. So you were dependent on really learning to be accurate, and the only thing we had to rub things nice and smooth, because we're going back a long time, it's probably close to 50 years, and we had the common old rubbing stone, and I went through a few of those in my day. No, I still can't do it. I always test. Just a gentle squeeze. We don't need to. Dodgy glass doesn't break properly. Well, I shouldn't say dodgy. It's come out of a scrap pile, so who knows how it's been. So how's that? I couldn't have done better if I had ordered it. That's fantastic. So then what happens is you glue it to your board where you want it to be. That would be the first thing I glue. And then you do all of the mosaic that you want to do, grout it, and then you get your nice clear glue, like you run your glue around the edge here. But if I'm going to put a plant in it, I may leave a little bit unglued, so if it does get full of water or too much water, it will dribble out. Alternatively, hubby has also gone through and drilled holes, but if I'm planting something this small, it's going to probably be a succulent, and I can do it with a squirty gun, so it's all terribly easy. How's that? Brilliant. And the other wonderful thing is you can see up here. So if I were to stick a heart on there, on the inside, let's say the inside of this cup, stick the heart there, you'll see reflection. Hopefully you can see it. Just bear with me. Oh, I need to change the angle. There you go. So what I've done for fun, I've put ladybirds on the inside of the cup. So if you have a cup or a mug that's got a lovely expression or something in there, or a beautiful pattern, it will be reflected in the mirror. So that's like double cool. And depending on the angle that you look at it, it looks like the cup actually goes all the way through the board. There you have it.